Well, 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 I bet you never thought you'd see this piece of junk on underused weapons, but what's going on, guys, in the works? And yes, we are doing the VODNIK today. And there's been a surprising amount of you guys who actually wanted me to do this, and I figured since we were doing the 50 cals, you know, we did the HMG on the main battle tanks last week, we might as well do this thing because it does have a heavy machine gun mounted to the top. But that does not make it good, guys. This thing is nothing compared to the main battle tank's heavy machine gun. This thing is a pea shooter, and it's actually a death trap. But before we get into any of this, I've got to thank my driver, IXI Sweat, for putting up with helping me film getting the footage for this particular episode, because you know it's not easy getting in one of these things because you do die quite frequently just because, like I said, this thing's a death trap. But the VODNIK is essentially the Russian version of a Humvee. It's a lightly armored transport vehicle with a 50 cal mounted to the top, and you're asking yourself, well, what makes this different than the Hummer? Well, this thing is really easy to destroy. I mean, watch what we get killed by right here. Boom. A 320. So it's pretty simple to take this thing down. It does not take a lot of rounds of anything to kill it. The interesting thing about the VODNIK is the damage model and how it works on it. Like, you can actually get explosive damage and kill the people inside. So if you throw a nade at it, if you shoot it with a 320 round, or if you even RPG it from the side, even if you don't destroy it, you can still kill the person out of it because it takes damage along the windows, along the back windows, so you can actually kill passengers out of it. And that's why I think this thing is a complete death trap. This thing is very, very frustrating to ride in. It's really only good to get to point A to point B, and I guess that makes sense. That's what they wanted it to be. If they wanted it to be a tank, it would be a tank. It would not be a lightly armored transport vehicle. But you can see there, Sweat actually got killed by, I think a nade actually got him out of it, and that happened to me so much while doing this. And this was actually one of the most frustrating, hands down. I think this is probably one of the most frustrating underused weapons to do. And I know a lot of people are like, well, this is a vehicle, this isn't really a weapon. But guys, vehicles can be weapons, and the VODNIK is no doubt underused. I think that people see how weak it is, they see this thing as a complete death trap, and they avoid it. I mean, a lot of people are probably still saying, well, it's the same as the Hummer, it's the same as the Hummer. And guys, it's not the same as the Hummer. The Humvee is so much better than this thing. Just because you can't get sniped out of the Humvee, you can't get killed out of the Humvee in such weird angles, especially from explosive damage. And I think that's really what makes this thing so weak. I mean, it's like one RPG to the back and you're down to like 25%. So it definitely doesn't stick around for long, as you see us battling with another one right there. I don't know if we're going to actually end up winning this battle, but this heavy machine gun does not do a lot of damage. There we go, finally destroyed a vehicle with this. This heavy machine gun does not do a lot of damage. I think that the tank heavy machine gun is definitely more efficient. But like I pointed out, if they wanted this thing to be a tank, they would have made it a tank. Instead, it is a transport vehicle. But I think the reason why people are fearful to get into the VODNIK, though, is the possibility of getting knocked out of this thing. I mean, this thing does not stand up to anything. If you get engaged by anything like a BTR, as you see him shooting at us right there, we've got to bail. And he actually disables us in one guided missile. Don't really have much to defend against them. I mean, you're pretty much at the mercy of the BTR, and there's no unlocks for the VODNIK, there's no unlocks for the Humvee either. But that being said, the Humvee definitely does have the advantage because it has that bulletproof glass, whereas this thing, you can get your brains blown out while riding in a passenger seat. And I've had so many moments where I sat down and I was like, okay, let's do this. We're driving down the road, then suddenly it's like, you got killed by insert blank, and I'm like, what? How did I die? What killed me? It's really confusing to get killed when you're in this thing, because you think you're going to be invincible, you think that you're hiding behind these walls of this thing, and you just get either shot out of it, 320'd out of it, naded out of it. So it can be pretty frustrating to use. And I would say a lot of people probably think that getting footage for the underused weapon of the rigid hull inflatable boat, the RHIB boat, was actually, and yes, that is redundant. I don't know why they put that in the game, but if you look at the kill feed, when you kill someone with the boat, it actually says rigid hull inflatable boat. I've always thought that was kind of funny. But like I was saying, that one was a lot more fun than driving around in the VODNIK, because the VODNIK is like this giant tin can that you're guaranteed to die in. So that is why it's underused, guys. People just don't like this thing. You know why? Because it stinks. It is a big stinking vehicle that really doesn't really compete with the Humvee, and I don't really understand that from a balance point of view. But let me know what you guys think. Why do you guys think that this VODNIK is so underused? Because people really just seem to refuse to use this thing. They really just don't ever want to get into it, because It seems like, especially on like rush maps, you'll notice the VODNIK on nose hair canals will sit there forever. People will not even consider walking up to this thing and getting into it. And it's for good reason, because it can't compete against the scout choppers either, because those things can take it down pretty quickly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode of Underused Weapons. I know it was a little bit different, but a lot of you guys did want to see the VODNIK make an appearance. But I will see you guys next time. Peace.